Hello and welcome to the Conscious Cruiser. This is episode number 40, and today we're going to be talking about booking your shore excursions. Is this excursion right for you? How do you find out? Well, first we're going to get our panel up here, and then I'm going to take you on a tour. How about that? We got Scott from Controversial Cruising with us today, and we've got Elisa from Elisa's Adventures in Cruising. I'm just a little hyped up, y'all. Y'all simmer down. It'll be okay. It's episode number 40, and I'm wound up for it. How about you? Well, we're going to be right back with you to talk about episode 40 right after this.
Welcome into the Conscious Cruiser podcast, the know before you go approach to cruising and travel. The smartest cruiser is the Conscious Cruiser. And your conscious casters, Elisa, Chet, and Scott.
Yeah, y'all got to excuse me this morning. I had a little bit of sugar product, and it's got me wound up, y'all.
I was going to say episode 40 has got us trained to the music, but no, we've liked it from minute one. So we're just...
Yeah, y'all are moving slow like I usually do, but I'm over here.
Just like sugar rush.
It's the other music it playing in his...
Yeah, I got other music in my head, y'all. I don't know what's going on. It's the Rolling Stones playing the Conscious Cruiser, I guess. So I'm excited about episode number 40. I've had a lot of questions to me here in the past couple of weeks about booking shore excursions. And a lot of people says, can I do this? How do I know I can do this? Well, we're going to talk about a little bit about that. And in order to investigate the future for people, we're going to investigate the past first. So, of course, we're going to go to Elisa with our first question. Surprise.
How do I fall for this every time? Okay, shoot. What's your question, Chet?
Well, Elisa, what has been your favorite excursion so far in your cruising career, and why has it been your favorite?
There have been so many excursions, and it's really hard. It really is hard to pick a favorite. But what immediately came to mind when I heard the question was Alaska, and I know we've talked about our trips to Alaska before. But I really, really enjoyed, there were two that I really enjoyed there, but I'm going to say the one to the glacier to, why is it in Juneau? You can, take the tour to the glacier and
Mendenhall
Glacier. Thank you, Scott. And I was thinking that before I thought, one, I would be way too cold, that I wouldn't be able to handle the cold. And so I wasn't going to do it. And also I just didn't expect to I'm not think I'm the most outdoorsy girl. So I didn't expect to enjoy the hike to the falls as much as I did. It was really, really nice. I really enjoyed that one.
Awesome.
Just bring a hat, Elisa.
What's that?
Just bring a hat.
I brought my hat.
Oh, okay.
That was Scott. Yeah, they left his hat behind. But Scott, what has been your favorite excursion up to this point in your cruising career, and why?
The trips to the bar.
It's like, okay.
Maggie's out there going, yep, I know that's true.
We know you like those duck farts. And
yeah.
That was a good trip. That was a good excursion. No, but I will actually go Alaska too as well. And another trip to the glacier, but it is the smaller boat. This is not a ship, a boat that you take to go and see the glaciers, and that would be the Glacier Express. It is actually the only excursion that is offered in Tracy-on Fjord. I believe it's also offered in Glacier Bay or the other glacier, the other fjord that you go down, but you take a little small boat and then you go to the glaciers. Sometimes you get to go see both. Sometimes you get to see one. They take you through some education. You get to see some wildlife. They give you some really cool snacks and different treats on the ship, on the boat as well. And then you can even have what they call a glacierita, which is where they make a margarita out of the glacier ice. So that's also really cool. I think, in my opinion, the best excursion offered in Southeast Alaska, but I know the people that have taken the little helicopters and all that and fed dogs and snow and the snow riding and snow globing. I know they're all going to come and fight me in the comments, but I think that little boat tour, the Glacier Express, is the best, not even my favorite, but the best excursion offered in Southeast Alaska. It is an experience. It is something that you definitely get to do once in a lifetime. And I think it's priced pretty affordable. It was only like $250. I know some of those Alaskan excursions can be kind of costly. So this one was only $250 a person. It was like, I think 3.5 hours or 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So that's my favorite. And it probably won't change.
Yeah, I probably should have asked for two favorites because, it seemed my favorites in Alaska also. And yes, Scott, I'm one of those guys in the comments. But we took the helicopter up to the glacier and we rode the dog sled on the glacier. I'll tell you, there's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it. We've done 100 excursions across all kinds of places, and I was just blown away by it. The helicopter flight in itself was great, but man, riding the dog sleds, you just can't explain it. It's one of those things like Alaska. You have to go see it for yourself. Mm-hmm. But I do, and we can go back around if you want to pick one in the Caribbean, since we all picked one in Alaska. If I pick one in the Caribbean, I tell you, I love the one we just did on our last cruise. And it's our second time we did it because it was so good. We got out there and snorkeled down that reef in Belize with the sharks and the stingrays.
Oh, wow.
Swam along a reef, and I got great video of that. Both of those excursions I have really excellent footage of, I think. Wow. They were just so you have to experience it. It's hard to describe. Even watching the video, hopefully it'll only be enough to entice you to want to do it, but you can't experience it all through the video. But yeah, if you guys got a place in the Caribbean that's maybe a favorite also, we can run back around another turn here.
There've been a lot. I did really enjoy Blue Lagoon Island off of Nassau. You go, and that's where I did the Segway scooter tour around the island. We didn't stop to swim with the stingrays, but there's an option, or you can swim with the dolphins or just chill out on the beach. It's a beautiful, beautiful location. So really, really enjoyed that.
Awesome. Scott.
I guess Elisa and I are just going to be thinking the same all day. I will also give you another one in Nassau. I was recently in Nassau earlier this year and discovered the Grey Cliff area. Now, you can book the Grey Cliff area experiences and the different experiences on through the ship that you're on, but you can also take yourself, and it takes about 15 minutes to walk there, or you can take a cab yourself in Nassau. All of the cab drivers will know exactly where it is. It is all privately owned, and there is a lot of history down there, a lot of different experiences. One of the experiences that I got to do with Richard from No Pants Profits, I got to do a candle making class, which of course you say, oh, two dudes making a candle, but it was actually really, really fun. And we got to learn some of the history behind the candle making. We got to see the candle making factory studio there, the same place where they also do the wine tasting and wine classes too as well. And you can make your own and bottle your own wine. So there's a whole bunch of different experiences. Even I told Warmstrung Adventures, there was a cigar making class down there too. So you can make your own cigars, roll your own cigars and things like that. So a lot of good things down in the Grey Cliff area, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You don't have to do any of the experiences. You could just walk around. Oh, chocolate making too. If you like chocolate making, there's chocolate making class. So a bunch of different things to go down and do in the Nassau area for the Grey Cliff experience, Grey Cliff hotels, I guess you would call it, Grey Cliff hotels.
Well, that brings us up to our second question, y'all. And this is the one where I've been getting a lot of questions on. I don't know if anybody knows from the Conscious Cruiser, this is a prosthetic leg. So sometimes I'm on that and sometimes I'm in a wheelchair. So how do I know which excursions I can go on? I've had a lot of people ask me that. And there's not just limitations for people with mobility issues. There's also other limitations you need to know before you go on your excursion. Sometimes you might be too short. Sometimes you might be too heavy. There's weight limits. Sometimes it might be if you're prone to motion sickness, they'll warn you that it can happen here. There's other things. If you've got a weak heart, bad knees, pregnant, Age.
Mhm.
Some things limit you by your age. So there's things that you need to know before you go on picking your excursion. So that's kind of what we want to touch on here on the second part here. So we'll kick it back over here to Scott. How do you make sure you can participate in your chosen excursion? Have you ever ran into one that you said, oh, I probably can't do that? Maybe you got a fear of heights or something, or a fear of water, or whatever the case may be. How do you know that the excursion you're going to book is something that you know you can do?
Well, I'll tell you, if there's a height limitation, I just stand on my tippy toes.
Stretch.
5 foot 7. Come on. Oh, yeah, I made it. I got it. No, I know that there are a lot of like weight limitations and height limitations and things like that for these excursions. So it's something that you always have to be mindful of. I will use Rich as an example because I know he won't care. But the last time, well, I know he wasn't going to do this anyway, but for example, the cliffhanger where you hang over the side of the new MSC World America and you do the little hangy thing, there was a weight limit of, I believe, only 300 pounds, I believe, or 300, 280, to something like that. I'm fine with that, but he goes a little bit over that, so he could not go. And there was all kinds of things as well from the weight limit. There was also a little thing there, kind of like the amusement park rides where you have to be this tall. Yeah. Yes, I did make it. Okay, almost by a whole head. So I was able to ride on it, but there are definitely things, especially if you are traveling with children. I was around a lot of children in that line. So whether you are accompanying your child or whether you're not, just because you're accompanying your child and they're shorter or they're too large or not large enough to go on the ride or go on the excursion attraction, they're not going to let them go on just because mommy's there. Okay. It is what it is. So you do have to be a little bit mindful of that. For me, I don't think I've really ran into a problem, but I know a lot of people that are traveling with kids and other different disorders and disabilities and things like that do have to be a little bit mindful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How do you know, Lisa, if you can go on one?
How do I choose, or how do I make sure it's right? I really, I read the description for sure. But now that we are on YouTube and we know so many of our fellow YouTubers have gone to these different places, I do watch a video or two to try and figure out if it was right. And that's what I did for the Mendenhall Glacier tour that I was talking about, because I wanted to know how far of a walk it was to the waterfall, which is the kind of the highlight of that trail, to see if I would be able to brave the cold long enough to make it all the way down, and if it would be worthwhile seeing. So, and you get helpful hints along the way when you do that. Like, for example, there was someone talking about how if you do that tour, that you want to head straight to the falls so that and come back and then like tour around the visitor center and all that, because you don't want to be you don't want to cut it too close to miss your bus back, because if you take, and especially if you do the longer loop, I don't remember the names of the trails, the longer trail, you may not have enough time to go all the way there and back and make your bus back. So those kind of things that I was definitely concerned about. So I tried to do a little research.
Yeah, oddly enough, Elisa, I did the same excursion you did once when we was there, and I knew from watching another person's vlog that I was not going to be able to make that walk on my leg.
Yeah,
I said, I can get there, but I won't make it back. So Robin from Sea Lake Journeys went down there, and I stayed up in the museum.
That makes sense. That makes sense. It was a hike. It was a hike. It was.
And sometimes a description, well, what is 1,200 steps? You know, you think of that in your head, but then when you see it on video on YouTube, you realize it's not just 1,200 steps. That's rough terrain. That's uneven terrain, little pebbles and rocks, and it's a little bit slippery in some places. And YouTube is a great tool. I use it to find out if I think I can do an excursion. And like you said, looking at the description of it in the cruise line, they'll give you descriptions of it, and it'll show you activity level. Now, you know, if you can't walk from here to your mailbox, you're not going to be able to do that extreme excursion. You know, if you can't lift your leg up, you know, 18 inches off the ground, you're not going to be able to get in that helicopter. Things like that that maybe aren't in the description that you need to watch a YouTube vlog for or find out from people who went. That was what sparked this whole episode. People ask me a lot of questions. How'd you get in a helicopter? How high is the step? How big is the step? What do you do if you're over the weight limit? There's a lot of questions I've been getting. And they do have weight limits on the helicopter. And guess what? They weigh you when you get there. You can't lie. I mean, you can lie, but you may not get on the helicopter and you just threw $500 away, And so, or if they can shift the weight around, you're still going to have to pay an extra surcharge of like another $180 or something. But, I look at the special notes on there too, and the medical restrictions. Like I was just talking about vertigo. If you have it, some excursions ain't right for you. If you have a fear of heights, which usually vertigo sometimes goes along with that. Yeah. If you're afraid of water, don't book the snorkeling. Believe it or not, we've been out there. We did what was called the Boss underwater motorcycle thing in St. Thomas. There's a couple people that could not get under. You have to go under the water to come up inside of it. Okay. Yeah. And a couple people couldn't do it. And one was a young guy, like in his 20s, and he couldn't do it. Another was an older lady, probably 70, and she couldn't do it. And they just ended up sitting on the boat, Right. And so I think if they had done a little more research, they might have known, might have, not booked that excursion, booked something else instead. So I look for all the information I can. And also they will check you too. They're going to make sure you're not inebriated when you come to get on that excursion. That's why on the snorkeling, you get the free rum punch after the snorkeling. You read the description, like, woohoo, open bar on the boat. Yeah, don't open until the snorkeling's done.
Makes sense.
That's a rip off. No, it's not. It's to keep you safe.
Well, you get a shot at the lobby bar on your way out.
But read the descriptions, read the special notes, and check them out on YouTube. Like I said, I get a lot of questions here. People asking me, what about my scooter? I want to do the sky ride in St. Thomas, and they say, and I can walk. I'm like, okay, that's good. They can't walk to the sky ride, but they think they could get up the steps to it. I'm like, okay, what about your scooter? You can't take it with you on the sky ride. You're just going to leave it there and hope that it's there when you get back. I mean, these are things you got to think about. Yeah. Can I do this? Even if you're physically able, there might be something else that you need to know. You got to ask yourself these questions. And me and Rob from Sea Lake Journeys go back and forth with us all the time. She'll go, I don't think you can do that one because of this and this. And she'll explain to me why. And I'll think about it. I'm like, yeah, she's usually right. And I have overdone it, guys. I overdid it in last October down there in the Mexican Riviera, and I split my stump open and I had to sit in a wheelchair for a month, because I thought I could do it.
Yeah, thought you could do it.
Yeah. Well, I did it, but I paid the price. So this is what the whole episode today is for, is find out if you're able to do this excursion. Don't just look at it and go, yeah, I want to do that, and then get there and find out you can't. Hey, guys, we have a fantastic, we got a commercial coming right here. So we want to let you know that we got the Ungroup Group Cruise, and we want you to check this out real quick. It's our sponsor for today. How about that? An ungroup group cruise. It's a group cruise, but it's not a group.
Can't wait.
Oh, it's a group of unhinged people, apparently.
I think they call it a mob. They should call it the mob cruise.
And if we could just get these two with us as well, then we could just do the Conscious Cruiser at sea, probably for, I don't know, the second or third time, because we're probably going to do it before that. So, but we can have us all in one place, and it could be like a regular week in YouTube. All the YouTube personalities and your favorites will all be on one ship. sea like journeys and with cruising. Nudge, nudge.
I don't know if they could handle us all.
That's right. Are they prepared for us? I don't know.
I don't know. There's like 80 of us already, so.
Yeah, we got about that on the ABC cruise too, I think, in 2026.
I'm thinking about going on that one too, Chet.
Yes,
so
yes.
Yeah, I don't know if that ship's going to be the same again. Okay, guys, and hey, by the way, I would want to mention Spotify. If you're seeing us here on YouTube right now on Sea Lake Journeys, you can also join us on Spotify. Get in your car, get in your backyard, get out by the pool, hit Spotify, and get some cruise knowledge while you are having a good time or going somewhere.
that's right.
And we're on to our third question here. And who am I starting with this time? Elisa again. That's right.
Oh,
Lisa,
I'm up again. Okay,
yeah. Are you ready?
ready.
In your opinion, should you book your excursion with the cruise line or with a third party online or with a random person holding a sign at the end of the pier?
Well, I'm going to go with not the random person at the end of the pier. Although, again, this goes back to what Chet was saying. You know your limitations. I'm not going to be comfortable with that, but I know people go and are in search of a bargain or their own version of a tour. So, do you? But me, my number one choice is still the cruise line, especially if it's someplace totally unfamiliar. Like, I'm sorry, I keep talking about this next big trip coming up, but I don't know anything about Greece. I don't want to be roaming around by myself, and the group wants to do a lot of things together. So we have booked excursions through the cruise line, and our hosts, MH Family Adventures, have contacted tour vendors there so that we can all do the same same tour together. And I'm really looking forward to that. So we're kind of doing a combo. We're booking through the cruise line, but we're also booked through a third party vendor, but with our travel agent right there in that connection.
Good. Scott, what about it?
Well, I'm going with the random person at the end of the street. But
how did I know that?
Why does it not surprise us?
Wait. There's stories, okay?
Mhm.
I didn't just meet this random person in the streets in 2025. Okay, this was random street relationships that I've had in the past. Like, I'm talking about 10 plus years ago. And I've kept with those people, and I've done other excursions with them. No, not like that. Other excursions with them over time. And I've even taken other groups with them on other cruises that I've been on. And it's just been wonderful. I'll give you an example. The last time I was in Jamaica, I have a really good friend, Janelle, down there who does tours. She does tours for a company, but she always gives myself and my group that I bring on a really good special price. I have been going with her for, again, like 10 plus years. We got to actually go to a little school in Jamaica, the school that her son actually goes to. She set that up special just for the group we had. I think 16 of us or something like that.
Nice.
So it was really nice. And those type of things, I think I really enjoy. And again, without those relationships, I obviously would not know or would not have that outlet in Jamaica. And Jamaica is one of those places that may not be so safe to go wander off by yourself. But she has never, ever, ever given me a reason to be nervous about us not getting back to the ship on time or us not, being in a safe environment or whatnot. So I am lightly joking about the guy at the end of the pier with the sign, but it has worked out for me. I'm not telling you to go do that now in 2025. I would probably err on the side of booking on the cruise ship especially for those new cruisers, booking on the cruise ship to have that peace of mind that you are going to get back on the ship on time, guaranteed.
That is much less of a random person with a sign at the end of the pier than I was imagining. I was thinking more of like a hitchhiking situation with Scott have a sign like "tour me, please," kind of thing. So,
well, I mean, it did work out like that when I first met her. I mean,
I'm trying to help.
I mean, I did take a gamble, and it worked out well, and we just stayed in contact. And I mean, it was like that. It wasn't like come take my tour, but when we went to Jamaica 10 plus years ago, when it was safer, I was like, hey, what should I do? And she took me and my group under my wing. And, in the beginning, very, very beginning, did I have those thoughts like, are we going to end up in a Jamaican bush somewhere chopped up like, chop suey? Yeah, maybe. But obviously that didn't work out. And 10 years later, 12 years later, I'm still here. And I talk to her quite frequently on Messenger and things like that. So
cool. Glad it worked out.
Well, we've done, we usually stick with the ship because we like that return to the ship guarantee. Yes. And we've been side by side with the bus, with the other bus had a flat tire and they were on their own excursion. They did not have the return to the ship guarantee. And of course, we got back in plenty of time and their bus came rambling in at the last minute. They sent somebody out there to fix that tire. And I was like, wow, I'm glad it wasn't on that because they were only like 10 minutes away from being left. A whole busload of passengers. And
stress.
so but then we were younger once and we were dumber once. And we have done a couple of times where we said, there's a dude, hey, you want to go horseback riding out here in Cozumel? We're like, yeah, $20. I'm like, yeah. And when we got out there where this dude took us, me and Robin from Sea Lake Journeys looked at each other. We looked around and went, this was not a good decision. This could go south real fast. Especially when we saw another dude come out from a horse out from behind the woods. I thought, if one or two more of those guys comes, I'm going to tell her to head for the ship as fast as you can on that horse. And,
Yay.
But it worked out okay. They were just there to watch. But I thought myself, that was not a good idea. That was not a good idea. And then we got there once on hey, you want to ride our golf cart for $20? Sure. Well, the golf cart broke down. We could see the ship probably 5 miles away. And who do we contact? Yeah, we did get back to the ship as they were closing the door behind us finally. But you'd think we'd learn after one episode. No, it took two and a third of watching somebody else almost happen to them for us to go, you know what? We're only booking through the ship.
Yeah.
$20 is $20, Chet.
Yeah. You know what? I'd have paid $100 to go ride it with the ship excursion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have blazing saddles out there, man. But I'll tell you what. Only one time I would have made an exception is going to Roatan. Daniel Johnson has a sloth sanctuary. I've watched enough YouTube videos of all kinds of people and vloggers that have gone with Daniel Johnson to see the sloths and the monkeys back to the ship. Hour and a half. You go in the morning, you're back hours before it's time to get back. So that's the third party one I would have done, but then they decided they weren't going to let us hold the sloths anymore, so we canceled that one. So just for safety's sake and getting back to the ship sake, we typically book only through the cruise line. Mm-hmm. But hey, we're on to our last question of the cast, guys. This has been a fun episode, man. We want you to name an excursion on your bucket list. Why is it there? And are you going to be able to do it? What is your bucket list excursion? Are you going to do it? Or can you do it? Go ahead, Elisa.
I do hope to get back to Alaska. And one of the tours that I did not take, and I think it was an issue of me not having my passport with me to do it. It's called, I think it was called like the Yukon Suspension Bridge. You basically are going up the same, not the same route, but to the same peak that you do as if you take the White Pass rail train. Yes. But you cross this suspension bridge that is over a river, and just the scenery just looks beautiful. So I just thought it would be so cool to get to do. But when you get to the other side, you're in Canada, and I'm imagining it's a very small little customs booth situation, and you definitely needed your passport with you. So I did not go ahead and do that. So that's something that I think I would like to try again on. So I'll call that a bucket list one.
That's a good reason to go back to Alaska, at least.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, what you got?
Bucket list. I think I would like to go to Ireland, and I would like to go bar hopping in ye old Ireland over St. Patrick's Day.
Oh my goodness. Well, Is it celebrated as hard there actually as it is here?
I don't know. I want to go.
I kind of think it's more of an American thing.
Like Cinco de Mayo, they don't even do that in Mexico.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm totally wrong. I don't know.
Luck of the Irish. I want to go kiss a Blarney Stone and whatever else is out there, and have a few drinks and Guinness. Even though I don't like Guinness, but we'll go and have some Guinness and some mugs and. Yeah, let's do it. I'm all up for it. That's my bucket list.
I think Scott is capable of that. I'm pretty sure he can handle that. Well, we got two. Robin from Sea Lake Journey says she wants to go see the military tattoo in Scotland. It only happens, one particular. There's like a week or two span that they do it, and so that's something that yes, I would be able to do, only if we book the high end of it. Because it's like a mile-long walk, and I've watched videos of where it is, and I ain't no way I'd be able to walk on that with my leg. I might get there, but I ain't getting back. Yeah. So I would have to pay. They got a car that will drive you up there to it. Mm-hmm. But it's yeah. So I'd have to use the expensive version, and that's why once again this episode comes up. Can you do it? Is there an alternative? You can do it, but you got to do it this way. Always look for that, guys, if there's something you want to do. And the second one, though, is Damawanga Falls in the Dominican Republic. And it was a bucket list for me. And it's going up, and you have to climb up these mountain and then slide down the rocks and jump off the rocks into the waterfall. And there's no way I could do it.
I was going to say, didn't Robin from Sea Lake Journeys put the big X on that one?
I don't know. I says, I'm going to watch videos. I could not find a decent video. I watched 50 videos of that place before I finally got a good one, which, by the way, it's Sea Tripping with Kim and Scott. By far the best video of Damawanga Falls. Everybody else's video out there is that I saw, literally. And but theirs was fantastic. I could tell from that video that there's no way. There's no way I'd be able to do it. I could do it, but it would take me all day. And there's a time limit. Time limit. Always factor that into your excursions too. Yeah. Sure, I can walk that mile if you give me 6 hours to do it. Right. I cannot do it in an hour and a half. You know
6 hours and 2 margaritas.
In a wheelchair.
On a very narrow, steep path.
So that's one bucket list I will not be able to get to do. The other one, well, it will happen one day. Military tattoo is going to happen one day. Just got to be ready to spend the bucks for the car to drive me up there and back.
Yeah.
What can I say?
That sounds really cool.
But you get to sit with all the royals and the military generals and stuff. So I have to wear my tux to go up there too.
Get all
fancy.
Mm-hmm. That's a bucket list, y'all. That's what a bucket list is, right there. Guys, we had a great episode number 40. What do you think? Y'all going to do number 41 one day?
Yeah, why not?
I think so. Next week, this time.
Next week, and it's going to be on Elisa's channel, Elisa's Adventures in Cruising. Ooh, how about that, Elisa?
Yeah.
Ready for a great topic.
10 episodes on the Conscious Cruiser. Oops, on the Conscious Cruiser right here. We will be streaming on the Conscious Cruiser, so I will be on the channel. Make sure you do sub up that channel because we will be streaming from there and trying to build the Conscious Cruiser podcast presence up on that channel there with that little logo with the little brain. So,
and on Spotify.
And on Spotify. Yes, that's right. On the road to 100.
Well, guys, it's been a great episode number 40. Hopefully this will help you out on picking the right excursion for you.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time. So for Scott from Controversial Cruising and for Elisa from Elisa's Adventures from Cruising. For me to talk today. I'm Chet from Sea Lake Journeys. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.